The information in this video could very well save your life. As part of Team Water, I'm going to show you 4 ways to get clean water in urgent survival situations. From deserts to jungles, these techniques could mean the difference between life and never making it home. Preparedness in the wild is key, and that leads us to method number 1, the portable water filter. Nothing beats its simplicity and its power in life-threatening situations. Tools like the Life Straw or the Sawyer Squeeze can turn the dirtiest pond water into safe, drinkable hydration in a matter of seconds. These devices use membranes that physically block bacteria and protozoa that could potentially make you sick. For the straw-style filters, all you do is place the intake into the water source and drink it directly, just like any old straw. Other style filters come with a pouch, which you fill with dirty water and then squeeze through the filter at the top. The added benefit here is that you can carry the water with you wherever you need to go. Unlike boiling or chemical tablets, these filters work instantly, weigh almost nothing, and last for many, many rounds of filtration. Honestly guys, every hiker or outdoor enthusiast should carry one of these with them. It's the easiest way to stay hydrated, especially in survival situations. This could very well be your #1 lifeline. But let's face it, you may not have one of these devices with you in an emergency situation, which is where method number 2 comes into play. Our second method is the solar still. The solar still is slow, labor-intensive, and weather-dependent, but it can provide you good, clean drinking water where no water sources seem to exist. Here's how it works. Dig a hole about 2 to 3 feet wide and at least 1 foot deep, and place a container in the center. Then you add green vegetation like leaves or grass all around it. These release moisture as they heat up. Then you cover the hole with clear plastic. The kind used in ponchos or emergency blankets work perfectly. Secure the edges with rocks and place a small stone in the center of the plastic to create a low point. As the sun heats the vegetation and releases water vapor, these vapors will condense on the underside of the plastic and drip down right into your container. And this water is now distilled and safe to drink. While yes, this method does take more work to set up, it can actually purify other water sources as well. If you don't have any vegetation, which would be the case if you were stranded at sea, you can replace the vegetation with salt water. As salt water evaporates, it leaves the salt behind in the still, and only clean drinking water would condense on the underside of the plastic. In fact, because this is such a great technique for distilling salt water into purified drinking water, life rafts are often equipped with solar stills in their emergency kits. You just need to make sure you set it up correctly. This technique particularly works well if you're setting up a camp and not trekking through the wild, since the setup is lengthy and the still needs to remain in place. Now this technique won't get you gallons of drinking water a day, maybe only 1 or 2 cups, but that is enough to keep you alive. But if you do need to remain on the move, there's a similar method by utilizing plants nearby you that has a much smaller setup process, which leads us to method number 3, which is called tree transpiration. Here's how it works. Plants themselves are natural water pumps. They actually pull up moisture from the soil and release it through their leaves in a process called transpiration. Now the goal here is to capture that water. In order to do so, this is what you need. Find a non-toxic tree or bush with plenty of healthy green leaves. The next thing you'll need is a clear plastic bag, which you will put over the leaves on a branch and tie off tightly. Now the third thing you need is unfortunately weather dependent. You need sunlight, at least a few hours of it, so it can actually create the photosynthesis and transpiration in those leaves that will lead to your drinking water. The sun triggers the leaves to release water vapor, which condenses on the inside of the bag. Think of it as a water trap. Each bag you set may collect about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of water a day. It's slow, but it's also portable, and if you set up multiple bags, that can give you a full day of hydration without much effort. And best of all, there's no boiling or filtering required, just fresh, clean drinking water straight from Mother Nature. But let's just say you're stuck in the middle of an emergency without any supplies. In fact, all you have is a container to hold some water. This is where method number 4, the ground seep, could save your life. When you're surrounded by dryness, it's easy to assume that there's no water to get. But in fact, this isn't true. Water can often hide just below the surface. First, you'll need to find where the water is hiding, and you start by looking for clues. Look for animal tracks converging into one spot. Animals always know where to find the water. Or green vegetation in an otherwise dry area. Soft or damp soil is obviously caused by water and can lead you to dry riverbeds or washes. Lastly, the base of hills or between rocks can be great places for water to pool underground. Once you find a potential hiding spot, now you need to dig. In fact, you need to dig 1 to 2 feet down using any method you can and as wide as your container. If you strike moist or muddy soil, that's a great sign. Now you wait 15 to 30 minutes and sometimes longer, and this is where water will start to seep into that hole. The water is rarely clean. It could contain silt, bacteria, or parasites like Giardia. Always try to pre-filter your water through cloth, charcoal, or sand, or even better, boil it if you can. If you have no tools, improvise basic filters to the best of your ability, because even some filtration is better than none. In some environments, especially deserts, you might only get a few ounces. But if you dig multiple holes and cycle between them, that can add up to a lot of water quickly. As a bonus tip, make sure to physically mark where you've put the seep wells, because water may continue to seep in for hours or even days. You might just come back later to an old well and find it full of life-saving hydration. Groundwater is one of nature's best kept secrets. All you need to get it is patience, observation, and the willingness to dig. But let's face it, guys, as you can tell by this video, water is the key to life. Without it, we wouldn't make it more than 2 or 3 days tops. And that is why I have decided to join Team Water. Right now, 1 in 10 people on Earth don't have clean water to drink. Without water infrastructure, women and children must walk for hours each day to gather water for their families, leaving them with no time for school or work. Communities cannot grow and thrive. But this is a fixable problem, and viewers like you can help to solve it. As part of Team Water, led by my friends Mr. Beast and Mark Roper, we're partnering with WaterAid to help raise $40 million by midnight, August 31st. Together, I believe we can hit this goal and provide clean drinking water to over 2 million people for decades. From rural Colombia to the mangrove forests of Bangladesh, projects will range from pipe connections to homes, gravity-fed water systems on mountainsides, solar-powered wells, desalination systems, rainwater harvesting, and more. Guys, these are not quick fixes. These are solutions that are going to last many, many, many years. By joining Team Water, you're not just supporting a cause, you're literally changing the trajectory of millions of people's everyday lives. So hit the link in the description and consider supporting Team Water just like us. Every dollar from this fundraiser will give clean water to one person for a year. Together, we can bring clean water to millions of people for decades to come.